You're about to listen to the Timey-Wimey Tea Time Podcast, a geekyantics.net and allgames.com production. Find out what everyone's talking about. The Doctor, of course. Doctor Who? Exactly, that Doctor. Join us live at www.twitch.tv/geekyantics. That's GeekYantics. Hang out with us, ask questions, laugh, and have at it. We can't wait to hear what's on your minds and hearts.
Timey-Wimey Tea Time. Gusta.
Greetings and welcome to Timey-Wimey Tea Time, where friends gather to talk about all things Doctor Who, sci-fi, fantasy, zombies, creativity, and everything geek. I'm Yomar Lopez, known throughout the interwebs for quite a long time. Not eons, but in human years, quite a long time. I'm a gamer. Oh yeah, I'm known as YogiZilla, by the way. I'm jumping ahead through my spiel. But I'm a gamer. I'm a dreamer, an author of silliness, a disgruntled techie, a wild-eyed entrepreneur, and a fistful of happy emojicons and sunshine. I ride into the battle upon a glittering My Little Pony. Out of my mouth comes out laughing swords of peppermint and ginger. I like marshmallows in my cereal. Just wanted to share that. And that's about me in a nutshell. But I'm also joined by our good friend, the awesome, sexy, poetic voice of Gallifrey, none other than Stan Farina. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
We'll have to add an echo to that post-production just because we can. What's going on, brother?
I am eating macaroni and cheese.
That is good. Hey, simple pleasures. Sometimes it's all about the simple pleasures.
Yeah. Mac
Mac and cheese, PB&J, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Hot cocoa, especially now with this code. I know you're getting it hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. And how's everybody doing? We got some people on the IRC. We got people on the Twitch channel. I'm actually simulcasting right now to my personal channel and the Geeky Antics channel. We'll get more into that, how you can join us live. Because this is a live show. But, yeah. We got some Stan hype going. Woot woot. So, yeah, let's talk about that.
I was waiting for my iPod to power up so I could check out Twitch.
Oh, yeah. We didn't do any pre-show checks. We just went straight into it.
Exactly.
Well, last night I did a lot of streaming. So, with the Retro Friday, if you guys like retro-style games or video game classics, make sure you join us on Friday's late night.
What'd you play?
I played a retro-style game called Dungeon of the Endless, which I'm going to be streaming more often because I met some really cool people through it. It's a very interesting pixel art game. I won't get too deep into this because we don't really talk about video games too much, but it does have a sci-fi element, so it's relevant. It's a bit of a stretch, I know. But the whole plot is you have a spaceship, you crash on a strange planet, and you go deep into like this dungeon. You have to go up several levels to find a spaceship, some kind of vehicle to get off the planet. So you have to try to find the exit of each floor, and the floors, the stages, are dynamically created. It's randomized.
Wow.
And you have to find the exit, and then strategically place defenses because creatures try to attack you. So it's kind of like tower defense type game.
Ooh.
It's a roguelike, so if you die, you die.
I like tower defense games.
You'd love this. It's kind of a tower defense, turn-based strategy game, mixed in with roguelike. It's essentially a roguelike first and foremost because it's permadeath.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your group member, your party members, and then they're gone. But you can hire mercenaries along the way. You can level up your guys. There's tons of loot. If you love epic loot, tons of loot drops. This is just a great experience. I can't wait to play more of it. I was instantly in love, and I appreciate they wanted to stay anonymous, but someone donated it to my stream because they know I'm a starving artist, and I appreciate that. I'm not too proud to mention that, but wow, it's great. It adds value to the stream, and on a personal note, I really enjoy it. I find it quite therapeutic, and the sci-fi motifs, just make me very happy. So, yeah, Dungeon of the Endless on Steam.
Cool.
But folks, we are live, and this is a perfect segue. We are live on allgames.com, where the content is primarily video game related, but it's allgames.com, All Games Radio Network, is what geeks talk about. Not just video games. What gamers talk about. It's not just video games. We do more stuff than playing video games. So that's what we do here at Timey-Wimey Tea Time. Talk about sci-fi, fantasy, all that, creative writing, all that good stuff. But a fun fact: All Games Network is where G4 TV got its start. It's a lot of history there. So if you guys are like the tech TV, after it became G4 TV, you dig that kind of stuff, make sure you check out allgames.com and our network, which is a collaboration with allgames.com, geekyantics.net. We are streaming live right now on allgames.com and twitch.tv/geekyantics. And I know there's been some folks saying that there's some issues with the stream being continuous on not all games on Twitch. I think,
yeah.
Yeah.
It has hiccups every once in a while.
Yeah, apparently it's still going on because yesterday I was supporting a fellow streamer while I was working on stuff, and I kept their stream up. A couple of days back, I did the same thing. People were doing like 10 to 15-hour streaming marathons, and the chat would randomly stop working, or the stream would freeze for no reason, and it wasn't on their side. So, Twitch has its opportunities. It's growing pains, but it's a great platform because no one's really doing what they're doing over there. Of course, just like with Doctor Who, as much as we love it, it doesn't mean that we're not privy to we're not aware of the opportunities. And there's quite a few opportunities on Twitch, but we won't get into that. That's quite a bit of a rant, and we don't want to do too much bantering. Yeah, lots to discuss, but if you would, please start both of the streams on allgames.com and twitch.tv/geekyantics and just meet one of them. So if you want to just do the audio feed, you can listen to that. It's probably going to be smoother, or watch the video, whatever you prefer. Audio is good because you can just multitask while, do your laundry, tend to crazy kids, we love our kids, but sometimes they're hellions. Or I don't know, driving. Whatever you can do, it lends itself well to the multitasking habits. The more we get live listeners, the more it helps us out, helps out our respective networks, and most importantly, it gets you in on the conversation and the live experience. So, speaking of the live experience, the Timey-Wimey Tea Time experience is every Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Madrid, 5 p.m. in London, and 7 p.m. in Bucharest. And that should cover all the bases. What you got for us, Stan?
So let's do a quick rundown on what's been going on. I hope everyone has been doing great despite the wild extremes of climate change and solar minimum. Hey, check in and leave us some voicemail at 206-415-4987.
Indeed, and I will also piggyback off of that with 2 points. The first point is, even though we love voicemail messages and we're probably partial to them, we like all kinds of interaction, whether it's Twitter, YouTube comments, or whatever. But it is very nice to hear your lovely voices. It just is a different kind of dynamic you can't get through the written word. So keep them coming, and don't worry about us getting backlogged. We have plenty of space for them. we'll space them out and we'll enjoy them live on the show. But the other thought I had with that, solar minimum. And that's funny because my mind was a bit blown when I talked to some friends in the UK, and they told me that it starts getting pitch black around 4 p.m. or something like that. I'm like, that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like, it just boggles my mind. For us, it doesn't get completely dark right now here in the States until like, I don't know, like, what is it, like 7 p.m. More or less?
6, 7. You're a little bit south, so maybe you get a little bit more light.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, but still, like,
The
anything.
UK is up there.
Yeah, but anything, it's crazy. Like, anything before 5 p.m. just seems crazy to me. Like, to me, that's still afternoon. You
Mhm.
know, it messes with you on a deep level, I think. But let's recap some of the stuff that's been going on in the wonderful world of Doctor Who, and just entertainment as a whole, I guess you could say, or creative spaces. I like that better. But Danny Pink is dead. And, oh yeah, I think we
I
already
think
mentioned
we have
that.
to mention it every show.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
yeah. We should
From
definitely keep
now
it
until
going.
eternity, Danny Pink is dead.
It's true. We should definitely keep that as a shtick for us because they really downplayed it, and even Clara said that it was ordinary. He got hit by a what was it, a bus?
I think it was just a car.
He got hit by a car. It's like it was so ordinary the way they handled it. The character noticed it. Like, yeah, it's so ordinary. Like, couldn't it be a meteor or something fun? Bits and pieces of Cybermen. I don't know. It could have been.
Something that he couldn't avoid. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
It could have been something fun with Timey-Wimey too. But that's that whole thing. They really worked. I don't know if they did it to great effect or maybe overdid it, but the whole underlying theme about the repercussions of lying. I think that's what they're really trying to highlight there, because she was, Clara was still trying. She was trying to come clean, and she had a whole, push pin, bulletin board type thing going on, or no sticky pads, whatever. She had a bunch of sticky notes, and of things that she had to tell the truth about, and she barely went through it. And I guess he was just dumbfounded by what Clara was saying, and he just went complete dirt mode and got hit. I don't know. I don't really buy it, but interesting thing though. Supposedly, if you freeze certain frames when they pan around Clara's room, you can see the sticky notes clearly, and it says some of the stuff that she meant to say. And one of the sticky notes says 3 months. So apparently, Clara is pregnant, and she never got to tell Danny. It's kind of jacked up.
Uh,
Wouldn't it have been better if that would have been one of the things she revealed before he got hit? Like, that's something that would make you just completely like get taken back. Like, what? You're what?
that would have been great dramatic tension,
Exactly. But they didn't
which
mention
which they don't do very well with.
it. Oh yes, and before I forget, Andy has a treasure. Our own Spaffyzilla, who's my brother from another mother. He has the egg that was shown in the episode Time Heist. What was her name? Carabaxis, Count Carabaxis, or whatever. I remember that when she had to take the one treasure that she held in the highest regard before the whole place got destroyed by a solar flare, or whatever. If you look closely, and I missed this completely, she grabs like a Fabergé egg and like this very fancy carrying case for it. And
Ooh.
and Andy has the exact thing in his home. He had it before that episode came out.
Uh-huh.
So he's got some links in the chat if you guys want to check it out. Oh, and that's what I forgot to do is get that in the slideshow. So we'll do that hopefully by next week. Remind me, Andy, to do that.
So what kind of egg is that?
It's kind of like the Fabergé. Is it Fabergé or Fabergé? Fabergé. I don't know. The fancy eggs.
Uh-huh.
It has for a prop, that thing has a lot of detail. I don't think it's a complete prop. I think it's something they found in a store and they used it, repurposed it. And Andy was telling me that it has a good weight to it too.
Cool.
which I think is very important with anything you use as a prop, because when you could tell it's flimsy, it ruins the immersion, I feel.
Hmm.
But anyway, I'm about to go on another tangent because one of the podcasts I listen to has a guy that creates a lot of the props for Doctor Who, or a good
Oh
amount of
yeah.
them. Yeah, small world.
Yeah.
But so this week in a nutshell, President Obama threw down a gauntlet on immigration policy. You might have to elaborate on that a little bit. I try to stay away from politics. Maybe we shouldn't get into it. I know that
Well,
immigration stuff is kind of
so he's trying to. So he came out on national TV and said that he's going to make an executive order that basically, and I'm summarizing that, if you've been here for 5 years illegally, then
you're naturalized.
you're naturalized. Well, you get your green card. You don't get your citizenship, but you get your green card.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, so that's so that people don't have to live in the shadows.
Right. Well, and that's actually kind of good because then they'll start paying taxes.
Exactly, and that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm for or against it, but it touches my heart. So
BFT says I don't get how these politicians forget about the illegal part of illegal immigrant. And I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I agree. But I also appreciate what people say about this being an immigrant nation and we need to open up our doors more. But let's be honest, we could barely take care of the people that we have right now. And overpopulation is a thing. I hate to say it. We only have so many resources to support so many people. And when you have so many people that are not paying taxes and essentially don't bring anything into our world other than more opportunities for consumerism, so there's more money going out, that's no good. Because then people come here, they set up shop because they get all kind of incentives for creating businesses. They get rich, and they bring it back to their countries where that money's worth even more, where the dollar still means something. And that's money that leaves the country. It doesn't come back because we're not keeping that money in circulation, not creating more wealth in the United States. I think that's a shame.
mm.
But anyway, some people might not like that I said that. That's very Republican of you. No? Don't even get me started in the bipartisan system. It's so stupid. Two-party system? No. Forget about
I don't
political
believe
party.
it's a two-party system. It's a
It's
one
not.
system for the super powerful.
Yeah. And even just forget about parties altogether. Think about the issue. That's what matters.
Right.
Think about people. But anyway. So radical Islam continues to grow and kill. That's no bueno. No me gusta. Iran's president is bad stuff. We might be a little bit down. We're starting on a down note right now. Iran's president renewed threats against the people of Israel. This is an ongoing thing. Israel is always in trouble, and we keep helping them out. And I'm all about helping our neighbors, but I don't think we're really in a position to be doing too much of that right now.
Right. Well, the big thing was that he's not just ranting against Israel. And when you make threats like that, it's not ranting, it's something more. But it's also about the US. So it's like, that's mind-boggling. And it's like, okay, yes, they don't like our foreign policy. And, we've done some questionable things over a long time. But I don't know. He's like, basically he wants to exterminate Israel and us. And it's like, what?
Oh yeah, we're forever paired up with Israel.
Yeah.
There's no way to stop that relationship, so we have to keep it going.
Yeah.
Out of obligation of anything else. Whether you think it's a bad thing or a good thing, I don't know. And apparently, our dog doesn't like it. If you
He doesn't like the Iranian president.
He doesn't like it. No me gusta. No le gusta. But last but not least, the European Space Agency's Comet lander ran out of juice because it can't get any solar energy while stuck in the shadows. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's a big bummer.
That's a bit of an oversight.
Well, no, see, it wasn't their fault because the oversight was that they didn't realize how solid the comet surface was. So when it landed, it kind of bounced a couple times, and it bounced to a place in the shadows.
I'm sorry, is the dog distracting you?
No, dog's okay.
All right, but yeah, that's funny. Is it? You would think they'd prepare a little better. I mean, they're scientists. They got to think about every variable, right?
Right. How much money did they spend?
Yeah, especially when that much money's on the line. It's like, I just saw Interstellar. Now, I didn't go
I
to the
didn't.
theater to watch it. I don't have that kind of money, and
I
that's
didn't
what
see it.
it's good. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but one of the things in there is that NASA gets shut down because people feel that it's a waste of resources,
Right.
and all kinds of like crazy stuff happens where like teachers are changing, editing textbooks, or they're releasing new textbooks that say that the moon landing never happened, and then NASA was just a way for the government to launder money or whatever.
Oh wow, that's funny.
I'm like, oh my gosh, let's not go there. And it was funny because a parent who happens to be a former employee of NASA before they got shut down is like he gets offended because his kid is all about science, and he finds out talking to his daughter that they're not teaching space exploration or other kind of like astronomy or whatever in schools anymore because it's useless. I really want to say more, but I don't want to spoil it. But
I'm gonna have to watch it.
yeah, it's good. It's a 3 hour romp too. It's pretty epic. It's a little bit of slow burner parts, but it's good. To me, it's like what Gravity probably could have been. Like Gravity was cool, but it was more of like just fun cinematography. That's a thing, right? But Interstellar has a good plot to it. And I think it was Matthew McConaughey was the lead role. He was good in that too. Oh, and Andy likes it too. He said Interstellar is boss. It needs to be put on Blu-ray now. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'd love to have that. I like to own that in HD for sure. But anyway, moving on. Before I go share more about my love affair with that movie. Well, we can just probably discuss the next show if you get to watch it.
Yeah, why not?
But very relevant. Space exploration, sci-fi, hell yeah. Or heck yes, sorry. Heck yes. But on The Walking Dead, Carol gets hit by a car. Let me tell you,
Poor Carol, man.
yeah, she's had a bad string of luck. But when that happened, I don't know what happened with that. I forgot that scene took place.
Oh man.
Like my mind erased it. And I didn't remember, I didn't recall it until I started hearing all our fellow podcasters talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, and Daryl heads back to get the troops, so we might have another showdown on our hands. So we'll see. So as we wait on the Christmas special for Doctor Who, and Series 9, which is going to be a longer wait, of course, Stan and I are revisiting the Doctor's past, and thanks to Amazon Prime, which we're both big fans of, we're getting free streams. Amazon has this thing, Amazon Instant Video, and within that they have the Prime Instant Video, which is unlimited streaming of all the things that are considered Prime, and then there's other things you have to pay for.
That's
Those are not
awesome.
Prime. Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
awesome.
really know about it, dude. I mean, I thought that yeah, I was confused, and I thought that you had to pay for everything you watched on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they do a really bad job communicating that. So when you go on there, all you have to do is make sure you use the filter Prime Instant Video, and then all that stuff is included in what you already paid for your yearly subscription. And yeah, so with that Amazon Prime membership, you get the 50th anniversary collection of Doctor Who, which basically I feel does a really awesome job of highlighting all the major moments in over 20 seasons of classic Doctor Who, including the introduction of John Pertwee.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, where he appeared in Spearhead from Space, early 1970s story about alien intelligence and invasion. It's also one of the first stories where UNIT is very prevalent. UNIT, of course. Well, you'll tell us in a second, right? But we should probably reflect a little on how the Third Doctor deals with regeneration and memory loss compared to the 12th Doctor. And I think that needs to be a discussion.
Yes.
So, tell you, listen to this. Tell us what you think tell us a little bit about Spearhead from Space, Stan.
I love it, man. So, the United
Nice.
Nations Intelligence Task Force, otherwise known as UNIT, is on the scene in Oxley Woods. Meteorites have fallen. The TARDIS appears, and the third Doctor stumbles out of the TARDIS and falls down unconscious.
It's almost Eugene-like that face plant.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. Led by Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, UNIT is trying to figure out what's going on with all the pomp and formal incompetence expected of government types. That's so classic Doctor Who too. Pulsating, bleeping orbs are discovered. Animated mannequins stalk the woods. People and meteorites go missing.
That's it.
That's just the teaser, man.
Just a teaser. Okay, that's a good teaser. I want to know more. I was hoping you would slip in some more.
Yeah.
But these are definitely fierce times, and let's get right into it. Let's get into what's going down, the adventure that we have ahead for you on the show. So we're gonna have some comments and reflections, as we usually do, to open up the show officially. Doesn't really start until we share those comments.
Oh yeah.
We love hearing from you guys. Then we'll share more about how you could call in and interact with us, live or otherwise, synchronously or asynchronously, if you like. And then we'll do our brief Who's Who segment, where we'll do our share our introduction to Doctor Who, and we'll jump right into close off the first half of the show with Doctor Who Series 7, Spearhead from Space with John Pertwee, the third Doctor, right? So we have William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, which I have to say, I know I joke about Mo a lot, but
are you finding a new appreciation for Mo?
You know what? I hate to say it. I could not stand him when he was, his episodes were, I caught them on rerun, obviously. I didn't catch them on the first run. But, I appreciate him more now. I don't know what this says.
It means 12th Doctor sucks.
But I love Capaldi. I really do. Anyway, in our second half, we'll do our big stuff, little stuff. It's become a staple of the show. And we'll talk about Doctor Who and The Walking Dead. I think that's all we got for that. We might have some surprises, though. You never know. And then we'll have a community interconnect where we talk about the community, of course, and do some plugs and some shout-out type stuff. Play some voicemail messages, all that good stuff. Then we'll talk about our Soft Kitty contest, which we may have to tweak the timelines now that we're playing catch-up. And finally, the big shout-out section, our outro. We'll do more plugs and spreading the love. So anyway, back to Doctor Who. Spearhead from Space was not only John Pertwee's first appearance as a third Doctor, but it was also the first story.
Cool.
And I'm pretty sure that's correct. But we might have to go back and check out all the older stuff.
Right.
William Hartnell, I will say, if you're a newer Doctor Who fan, that stuff is much harder to get into, the black and white stuff. But he has his strong points. And Patrick Troughton, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Right.
Who I like to call Mo of the Three Stooges. He's interesting. That's all I'll say. But this is also the first Doctor Who episode in color.
Yeah. That was interesting.
And Spearhead premiered, I believe, in January 1970. And the story consists of 4 25-minute episodes. And this was pretty typical for, I would say, close to 2 decades, if I recall properly. There were a lot of, or at least, generally you had small story arcs spanned over 3 to 5 episodes, and there would be a lot of cliffhanger endings, especially during Tom Baker era. Those cliffhangers were always amazing, and they were brutal sometimes if you had to actually wait for the next episode to air or replay. Now, in the opening episode, the opening part of Spearhead, the third Doctor's memory is lacking, just like the 12th Doctor. But I can't help to mention that both Stan and I feel the third regeneration is unmistakably unmistakably rather, the Doctor,
Yes.
even without all his memories. Whereas the 12th Doctor felt like he was acting a lot out of character. Now, I've given that more thought too, and I think there's some slight justification, but still, when you go back to this older stuff, it's like, yeah, you know, you can ease the audience into these changes in the character. It doesn't have to be so drastic, and if it is drastic, there's ways to support it so you know you could appreciate what's going on. And I don't feel that happened in Series 8, and I know Stan feels the same way. What do you think?
Well, Robert Holmes, the writer of Spearhead from Space, he knew his Doctor. That's not to say that dissympathy and other sociopathic symptoms aren't in the story of Spearhead. They are. The bad guys are sociopathic. So, I mean, going back to an earlier Doctor, for me, makes it clear that Stephen Muppet has miswritten the 12th Doctor. Because Spearhead from Space gives us a Doctor Who as Doctor Who should be. The third Doctor, even in this first 4 episodes, is a hero. He's a good man, and maybe even fatherly, regardless of his memory loss, regardless of his lack of a companion, regardless of the fact that even the leader of UNIT, who he's worked with in the past, doesn't recognize him with this new face.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's operating at considerable disadvantage. He has to steal the clothes that he wears.
Yep.
So he steals a car too, which is awesome.
Old Bessie.
You know, of course they're going to return the car. It's neatly tied up at the end. You know, they're going to, I suppose, return the clothes. But so he's, you know, the 12th Doctor comes in. He's got cool clothes. You know, he knows how to. You know, he's got the TARDIS. The TARDIS is working. The third Doctor, the TARDIS is not working, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the 12th Doctor has all these advantages. He comes in with a companion. He comes into old London with his old friends. He's got everything made easy for him. And yet, you know, he's a bit of a boob. Not just a bit. What's his deal? I don't know. But I mean, going back to the third Doctor with John Pertwee, I mean, I immediately liked the guy.
Yeah.
And yes, I've seen this before, but for me, it felt like new watching it for the first time.
It does.
I think I have seen it a long time ago, but seeing it again is still like seeing it for the first time. And with this, starting off with this regeneration, I said, I like this Doctor. He's a nice guy. You know, he smile. I was noticing he smiles quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, even though and he doesn't do it inappropriately, because okay, you have a dangerous or difficult moment. Maybe people are dying, but you know, and okay, he might smile, but he smiles for the right reasons, because he's appreciating something small is working out.
Yeah.
And I think to Capaldi's Doctor, and this is not blaming the actor Peter Capaldi, but he doesn't appreciate people. He takes everything for granted, and he kind of slanders everything, and he's, you know, a Debbie Downer.
Well, it's actually good that we went into this sort of like flashback. That's what we're gonna call it, Doctor Who flashback. I'm sure that's already a thing, but rewinding it way back to this third Doctor, 9 regenerations back. There's a lot of things that are in stark contrast. There's a lot of similarities too, but one thing is that this third Doctor treats human beings as equals. He doesn't. He's not condescending to them. I mean,
Yes.
in fact,
He's not in contempt.
yes, and in fact, he's almost at their mercy as well, because they confiscate his key, the key to the TARDIS. He has to ask to keep the car, old Bessie. He has to kind of like barter, wheel and deal to get things his way. A lot of social engineering, but not in a bad way. Like he's not manipulating people, but he has to kind of like, behave like a human. And whereas from 2005 onwards, I would say people that knew of the Doctor treated him, like he was a god almost, and everything came easily to him. It was like, yeah, whatever you want, sir. Hey, you're the president of the entire world, And that's not that's not just Series 8. That's just the way it's always been. It feels like things come easier to the Doctor now. He had to really work at it before and really figure out problems, and that's a big difference right there. You don't see as much use of the sonic screwdriver. Again, he has to use his brain and
Dude, I was just thinking about that.
yeah.
When they're in the wax museum,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a flashlight, an
Yep.
ordinary flashlight. He's not,
You know what that tells us, right?
he's not OP.
Yeah, and you know what else I do like about that is that we see over the years from regeneration to regeneration, the Doctor first tries really hard to be more of a human because he hates that he's a Time Lord because of the things that went down, right? He ran away. He stole a TARDIS, and left Gallifrey because he was tired of the politics and all the crap, right?
Right.
And then later on, Series 8, we see that the Doctor becomes more of a Time Lord than ever. He becomes more like everyone else on Gallifrey. And he hates himself for it, but at the same time, he's not really doing the right course corrections to change that. But it gets to the point where, the Master / Missy, says, hey, we're a lot more alike than you realize. And I think that's that deliberate tearing down of the Doctor as a character. They did that on purpose, but it didn't really drive it home. They didn't bring it home. But I see what they're trying to do there. It's like they're tearing him down because he's become what he hates, which is these Time Lords that think, they're gods. I'm sure there's some good Time Lords, but collectively the Time Lords, they're kind of jerks. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the biggest problem with the Time Lords throughout the history of Doctor Who is they have no heart.
Yeah.
They don't care. I mean, they're only interested in what they're doing, and oh well, that world burned. Oh, that happens.
Yeah, they're very scientific. Everything's numbers and cold hard facts, and that's it. Emotions don't come into it. It's all logic, all rationale, right? But and by the way, I started to rewatch the Three Doctors. I have one more part to watch, and we'll probably talk about it next time because John Pertwee's in there as well, and the way it brings everything together is really awesome. And we see more of the Time Lords before the fall of Gallifrey, right? Very interesting things there. That episode has quite a lot of insight into the Doctor Who universe and why the Doctor is the way he is.
Right.
But yeah, guys, there's so many things just watching the Third Doctor, the way he acts. I mean, he's so human that he's driving around. The Doctor we've come to know, 2005 and onward, uses the sonic screwdriver and his TARDIS or any technology he's gotten that's like high tech, futuristic type stuff. He uses that stuff to like great effect whenever he can.
Right.
He's like, oh, ride a train. Who does that? Like, you think about it. When do you ever see the Doctor now, like, ride a train or walks? Well, maybe he might walk somewhere or drive a car or be driven somewhere. Like, it's very rare if you think about it. Like, can you think of a moment?
Well, I can't. The motorcycle.
Oh yeah, that was the motorcycle. Yeah, good
Around
catch.
London. Was that with Matt Smith?
That may have been, yeah.
But the thing is, he didn't love that motorcycle.
He didn't, yeah.
And the third Doctor, he loves the car,
He
which
does.
is cute, you know.
You know, again, it's like he really, you can see he really loves humanity. There's no doubt about it. Like he's there to help them, and he doesn't mind that they're kind of like mean and condescending to him at points, like giving him a hard time. Like I'm trying to help you. Like current day Doctor, if he's talked down to or treated like crap, he would just be like, all right, well, you guys figure this out for yourself. Especially
Taking my
Capaldi.
toys and I'm going.
Exactly. Screw you guys, I'm going home. I know that's a terrible impression, but
No, that was pretty good.
has to come more from the throat. But I do want to say, going back to our last episode 11 of TWTT, we were talking about the 3W thing that they talk about in the Nevosphere and the season finale of Series 8. The 3W, the three words, don't cremate me. There, the mystery is solved. It wasn't much of a mystery, but I feel like the reason neither one of us knew this right off the top of our heads, is because it was almost a throwaway fact, and it shouldn't have been. I think it should have been a very important part of the plot. Did you think?
I still wonder what's the problem with cremation. I know.
Could a dead feel pain? But like they mentioned that, and then at
But
first you're like,
why do they
"Ooh."
feel pain?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
See, they're in a tough spot because if you go back collectively, the mythology of Doctor Who, I don't think it's ever truly served the notion of the afterlife. They've had the Matrix, which is Time Lord technology, which creates alternate reality, like a virtual reality, right? And if you have your consciousness uploaded to a computer, then you could do anything. Oh gosh, I'm about to jump into Three Doctors because it ties into that. But a lot of good callbacks. But yeah, I don't think it'd be bad if they actually went with a true afterlife kind of scenario, but maybe put their own little spin on it. So if they did that, then the dead feeling pain would make sense, right? Because then you know that there's a link to the life that we know, the material plane, the physical plane, and then the soul plane, or whatever you want to call it, heaven, hell, purgatory, that other existence. There's a link there. That would have been cool, but I guess they don't have the balls to do that.
Maybe they need. I mean, the last two episodes was a two-part show. Maybe it should have been a four-part show. Because they never. I mean, what we see again and again is they want to put in all these things into the show, but they don't develop it well. I mean, it's just everything is like fast food. Quick bite here, and they don't really resolve anything to our satisfaction and to our intellectual satisfaction, because Doctor Who has always appealed to the mind that reflects and wonders and imagines.
Yeah, definitely. They should. I think it's perfectly fine to leave some things open-ended and leave it to the imagination. We've said this before. So they don't pigeonhole themselves and then become slaves to plot points. I mean, with the Cybermen, for example, the Cybermen started off as human beings with, cybernetic parts, and there were actual people inside of those suits, right? They actually, if I recall correctly, Cybermen used to have human hands, so they were very humanized, and that was horrible. It was like a kind of take on zombies, but they kind of took that away. I think it was since the 2005, comeback of the show, the true revival of the show, really. They made it so that the Cybermen were basically just husks with like a brain in there, and that's it. No, not really humanized. So you didn't feel so bad about them getting destroyed or whatever, I guess. But the true horror resided in the fact that they were human. And see, if they had brought that back to that place, the classic Doctor Who, it would have been cool, because then this whole plot of the dead coming back to life would be even more gruesome and create the tension that we really needed to see there. It fell short, like a lot of things. But anyway, did anyone notice? Anyone catch that the doctor that discovered the three W's, the three words in the white noise of the dead? The name of this doctor was Dr. Scarosa. Scarosa, like Scaro. Home of the Khalids and the Thals, who were devastated by the Thousand-Year War.
Good catch.
Yeah, and this was when Davros created the Daleks, and that's a pivotal point in the Doctor Who universe. Now I didn't catch this completely. I'm not gonna take the credit for it. I kind of picked up on that, and I was like Scarosa, Scaro, but then I did a little more digging. I'm like, yeah, that's a big deal because maybe they're trying to do that on purpose, and now they're gonna do anything with that. Who knows? But yeah, this forced me to go back to Scaro and the Thousand-Year War. I'm like, and this is when the Daleks were born, and
Right.
the Daleks ended up taking Scaro for themselves. The poor and Scaro, if I recall, is like a big red planet. It's kind of like almost like Mars kind of planet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, isn't that neat, bro?
That is.
But now our favorite time of the show. I'm so excited. I'm feeling good this morning. You feeling good?
I am.
Good.
I look forward to it.
Delectable, geeky comments.
I totally just clipped you with that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro.
That's all right.
So let's review some of our community's thoughts about the 12th Doctor across Series 8. We are doing a bit of a retrospect today. So, our first comment comes from Roseanne Rachel, who's one of our regulars. She wrote, Doctor Who is supposed to show us the world that's possible with courage, endurance, and intelligence. Not indulge in all the worst parts of us, bigotry, racism, and navel-gazing. Now, as I replied to Roseanne, I have to say she was spot on. Of course, I was hopeful that the 12th Doctor would develop as his memory recovered. That's not happening in this series. And they can't squeeze that into Christmas episodes. So yeah. So unfortunately,
Santa can change him.
maybe. I mean,
Man,
who could
I
be
doubt
angry
it.
with Santa and Christmas music and all
I
that?
know, but if he's
Eggnog.
angry with Santa, he's in big trouble.
Oh man, it's kind of like mean kids in school that tell you, they laugh at you for believing in Santa. It's like, he's not real. Like, no, let me believe. You gotta believe in something. Come on, people. I'm still gonna believe that the 12th Doctor will become a real man. I'm a real boy. So, unfortunately, Moffat had no intentions of restoring the Doctor. At least not yet. I keep the hope alive. What do you have to say to that?
Moffat is broken, therefore the Doctor will be broken.
That sounds vaguely familiar. That I feel I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu.
Wow.
Maybe there's some Timey-Wimey stuff took place. I don't know. Why don't you read our second comment here?
Okay. Natalmo wrote, the conversation from Time Heist says what we were all thinking. So Sai says, it's very obvious that you've been with him for a while. Clara, why? Sai, because you're really good at the excuses. So in this scene, Sai is complaining about the Doctor's cold funeral parlor manner. Sai doesn't trust a doctor who advocates euthanasia and fails to mourn the death of a compatriot. Nor should we.
That was a very, regardless of how you feel about Time Heist, which I think collectively, it's one of the fan community I think generally has said that's one of the worst episodes of the series. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, that exchange there.
Well, I think the interesting thing is that initially, anticipating Time Heist, people were psyched up. I think when they first saw Time Heist, I think a lot of people were okay. But I think when they started to think about it, that's when they had their problems.
because the moral implications of it.
Yeah, across the board.
Yeah, and what I didn't like was I started to worry that the Doctor was going to become this new character, like change his title, his moniker of sorts, and
Hmm.
become the Architect instead of the Doctor. And it almost felt like Clara was gonna somehow turn into a Time Lord and become the Doctor. Like I don't know, it was like what are they doing over here? Some like weird retcon type stuff. I don't know.
Right.
It was just a weird setup to me. It put me in a very bad place.
She did take the place of the Doctor, though.
She did for a while.
I mean, no, I come on. In Series 8, she is the Doctor.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yes, he solves the problems ultimately, but she, all the things that we like and hate about her, she's kind of the Doctor that, we wanted the Doctor to be.
yeah. And the Doctor, for the most part, the 12th Doctor, mainly just kind of like stole the thunder by having the scenes with the epic, speeches and you know
Right.
doing putting the last touch to actually win. But without her setting everything up, he wouldn't have gotten there.
Exactly.
Good example is what was the one Flatline with the boneless. The Doctor was almost you know completely gone that episode with good reason as
Uh-huh.
part of the story, but he just comes last minute and it's like magical screwdriver. Here you go. Everybody disappears. We don't know why. The science behind it isn't explained, so we just have to believe in the fiction and just go with it. But sonic screwdriver defeats everything.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
Yeah, rock paper scissors. Nope, sonic screwdriver. Done. I win automatically.
Exactly.
What happens if there's two sonic screwdrivers? Who wins then? Uh oh. Yeah,
River song.
the writers better start thinking about that. That's gonna be a thing one day. Someone else is gonna have a sonic screwdriver. Then the Doctor will have to actually use his brain. Like, wait a minute. Maybe if I reverse polarities, but don't cross the streams. Oh wait, wrong show. But anyway, let me stop nerding out. But Lorenzo Talens wrote, "Ser un héroe no es fácil. Ser un héroe es superación de miedos, dolor y el ego arruinado." So, what he says here is being a hero is not easy. Being a hero is overcoming fears, pain, and the ruin, the faulty ego. And so Lorenzo was speaking to the lukewarm nature of the 12th Doctor's triumphs, and yeah. All right, let me not get into that rant. But the 12th Doctor continues to save the Earth and other people too, but he doesn't do it with heart, feeling, and finesse. It's kind of just like, yeah. And we just talked about that. We just talked about it. Perfect segue. We just talked about it, one of those moments. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Cool story, bro. Sonic screwdriver for the win.
Oh, yeah.
None of us feels that he
He's
does
doing, yeah.
yeah, he does his very best to minimize casualty. I don't think he's even in his thought process. It's kind of like everybody. It's like a big chess game to him. And again, we go back to the Third Doctor. He treats human beings as equals, or maybe even superiors at times.
Right.
And here we get very much the feeling that it's all a big chess game to him, which is the very mentality of the Master. Ooh.
Right. Yes.
Because the Master's always thinking several steps ahead. He always has a backup plan. And everybody and human beings are inferior to him. They're chess pieces, mere pawns. Whoa, mind blown. I just thought about that. That's kind of deep for me.
Yeah.
Every now and then, every now and then. But none of us feels very moved by the Doctor, in his compassion. And yeah, it's a shame. But he didn't even wince over those lost in the fights or thought to be lost. That's worth noting.
Right.
There was no internal struggle, no inner turmoil, just Stan?
Yeah, I think, we all learned something about the nature of the hero by studying the 12th Doctor. Because it's not so much the triumph that makes a hero, but the inner struggle and the noble ambitions which make a hero. Because a hero is worthy of our love and admiration, but not the 12th Doctor. Eh, I'm going to
This
go
sounds
here.
very familiar.
Yeah, more deja vu, dude. Hitler.
Oh, God.
I know people don't like it when we go to Hitler, but Hitler led the German people to do big things. You know, he had a vision of progress that was, when I say awesome, it was awesome because it
The
exceeded
scope of it.
the scope and imagination of the people of that time, but it had no heart or humanity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the accomplishments of the German people at that time were not beautiful things. They weren't good things. And when we look at that, and I don't want to overemphasize this, but the German people have had to wrestle with their guilt and shame over what they did for a long time.
So the Doctor is Hitler and the German people combined into one, so he hates himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But he definitely is guilt ridden.
Dude, I like that. That was an epiphany.
There you go. And now they need to do something with that guilt. How is he going to make amends? How is he going to atone for his sins, right?
Right.
We shall see in Series 9. I hope so. I hope so. Bring him back to hero status. He could be flawed, but just he can't be a complete, I don't know.
That means Muppet has to listen to our podcast.
Yeah, don't make the Doctor a complete butthole. Just saying. But if you want to join the conversation and perhaps join some of the ranting and bantering, you can comment on YouTube. That's youtube.com, iTunes, Spreaker, or geekyantics.net, where you can find all our other information and ways to connect. You can call in and tell us what you really think. If you're calling within the U.S., it's 206-415-4987. Again, 206-415-4987. And if you're calling from outside the U.S., it's 011 206-415-4987. And you can also speak your mind and heart in an email, because that's still a thing. You can email us at, me, Yomar, and Stan at TWTT@geekyantics.net. That's TWTT@geekyantics.net. And we'll do our best effort to try to get as many responses and live readings and playbacks during the show in a timely manner, in the order they're received. Hopefully. But usually we try to put them in the order where it's relevant to the discussion for that given show as well.
Yep, and they can keep in touch with us via Twitter at Yogizilla or at Farina, Faryna, or at Geeky Antics. And also at the following places: the official TWTT forums, which is at geekyantics.net/forum/Timey-Wimey-T-time. Or check out, actually subscribe to our mailing list at http://bit.ly/gang, capital GANG, mail, MAIL.
Indeed. That was very thorough, Stan.
Thank you.
But again, if you want to keep it simple, geekyantics.net will have all our information, our recaps, and all that good stuff. So that's the main place to go. And of course, we also have our other home at allgames.com. But we are running out of time in the first half, so we're going to probably skip Doctor Who. Well, no, not skip Doctor Who.
Who is Doctor Who?
Yeah, Who's Who, yeah. Who's Who. But we will say that this show has over 50 years of history. The expanding universe has tons of audiobooks and comics and great content in there. I mean, it's a blue box that's called a TARDIS. It's a spaceship. It's a time machine, man. It's bigger on the inside. What else do you need? Check it out. Give it a real shot. Don't start with Series 8. That's all I'm saying. But it's time for our musical break. Now, we love Peter Capaldi. I want to be clear on this. He's a great actor. This needs to write his character better. But we're going to take our break. Any last thoughts, Stan? No? All right. We're going to play Lift You Up by the Moscow team Orosonic, and we'll be back in a bit.
Awesome.
Love is patient. Love is kind and is not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant. Does not act unbecomingly. Does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Does not take into account a wrong suffered. Does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Bears all things. Believes all things. Hopes all things. Endures all things. Love never fails.